to the second segment of our teaching. Now, as they were robbing God, number one, taken from the storehouse of the Lord, and they were by extension also robbing the people, because the people offer those sacrifices, offer those tithes, so that God will bless them. But these people bastardized that, taken from the storehouse of the Lord, taken from the robbing, denying the people of what the Lord would have done from them. That's number one. So then you have to understand that, say, ye have robbed me. You have robbed me. And tithes and offering, ye are caused to say, because for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. You have robbed a whole nation. It's not just one individual. They have robbed the whole nation of Israel. The whole nation of Israel. The whole is not. Don't be deceived. It's not just one person. They have robbed by what? The priests, because the priests. The priests and these religious leaders, they were representing the people before God. And so whatever they did, whatever corrupt practices they did, it affected the whole nation, because a leading nation, a leader's nation is a leading nation. A leader's corruption, a leader's sin is a leading sin. It affected the whole nation. And so what they were doing was affecting the whole nation. He said, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. You have cheated me, God, and you have also cheated this whole nation by your manipulation of the sacrifices given by the people, the tithe given by the people that ought to be in the storehouse. You have done that. Remember, this whole nation. Which nation? The nation of Israel. The nation of Israel. The nation of Israel. Now, let's go to verse 10. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse. You see, it's commanding them. It's commanding the priest. It's commanding that have been robbing. Say, what you are doing, you have been cheating. When the tithe and offering come, the whole nation gather their tithe and offering. You will carry them. You will carry a larger chunk of them, just like the sons of Eli, into your bosom, into your place. You don't have to do that. He's saying, bring them into my storehouse. Put them there. Don't be cornering the sacrifices of the Lord, be given by the people to the Lord. Don't be cornering the sacrifices and offerings to your own selfish end, to your own account, to your own house, to your own place. Don't be cornering that. That's what the priests are doing. That's why they are living large today. That's why they are living big today. Because they are cornering those sacrifices meant for God into their own chambers. And the Lord is angry with them. But you see, they were going to turn that. These priests, these corrupt priests, these corrupt pastors, these corrupt evangelists, corrupt leaders, corrupt ministers, they will turn that around against the people instead of against themselves. Now, let's go on. Now, bring ye all the tithe. The Lord is commanding them, bring ye all the tithe into my storehouse. Why would the Lord ask them to bring that into the storehouse? That there be meat in my house, so that the poor can take, so that the needy can take, so that the widow can take, so that the fatherless can take. But they are cornering those things into their own private account, into their own house, and using that to feather their nest and the nest of their children and their relatives. This is what they're doing. Now, but it's meant for the people of God. And prove me herewith. Remember, that's the Old Testament. I'm going to clear that. Prove me herewith, if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that there shall not be room to receive it. That there shall not be room to receive it. Come down. Let's see now. Verse 11. And I will devour the devourer, and I will rebuke the devourer for your sake, and it shall not destroy. He will rebuke the devourer. Who? Don't think that he's talking to one person. No, he's talking to the whole nation, because what the priests were doing was affecting the whole nation of Israel, not all the people on the surface of the earth. And you say all the people on the talking to a whole nation. Come down, let's see whether it's talking to you, whether it's talking to you, an individual that you are busy being deceived, that you are busy falling into high level of gullibility, and you are busy falling into the prey of these corrupt priests, of these corrupt pastors, of these corrupt GOs, of these corrupt general superintendents, of these corrupt preachers, of these corrupt pastors. You are busy falling into their prey. You are busy being foolish and falling into their trap of manipulating the gospel, manipulating the scriptures to their own advantage. Now, he said, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing that there shall not be a room to approve, and I will rebuke the devourer for your sake, and he shall destroy and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast out fruit before the time in the field, say the Lord. Verse 12. Verse 12, now listen. And all nations, is it talking about you in this land of the Gambia? Is it talking about you in Africa? Is it talking about you in Senegal? Is it talking about you in Nigeria? Is it talking about you in South Africa? Is it talking about you in America, in Saudi Arabia, in Syria? Is it talking about you whatever? Is it talking about, or is it talking about, you see, and all nations shall call you blessed. Call who? All nations. That means all other nations is going to call you blessed because of what I'm going to do. If I rebuke the devourer for your sake and open heaven, that blessings will come, that there shall not be a room to contain it. You nation, you the nation of Israel, you shall be blessed. And all nations, all the nations of the world, all other nations shall call you blessed. I'm reading the scriptures. Verse 12. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land. Gullible people that they have been deceiving, cheating you all over, and telling you, yeah, shall a man rob God? If you don't pay your tithe, you are a thief. They are just manipulating you, just like the devil wanted to use the scriptures to manipulate certain things in order to deceive the Lord. But he did not succeed. And the Lord kept on telling him, no, what you are doing, you are quoting the scripture, but you are interpreting that out of context. Look at what is written there. Look at what is written there. And you are still falling to the prey of the sons of Eli. That the ordinances of the Lord, the laws of the Lord concerning sacrifices, they manipulated that to their own advantage, and we are taking the better chunk of the sacrifices that were made and coloring them, putting them into their house, into their bank account, if you call today, into their bank account. And the storehouse of the Lord was empty. The Levites were supposed to store everything in the storehouse of the Lord, but they were cornering that. That's why the Lord is saying, bring all the tithes and offering into my storehouse. My storehouse is empty. There is nothing there. You have cornered everything. That is what all these corrupt priests, all these corrupt pastors, all these corrupt GOs, evangelists, that's what they're doing all over. And people are falling prey. And people are being deceived. People are being too gullible to believe when they come to this method about Malachi, they will misinterpret everything. They will misread, just like their father the devil. They pray on lies. They will just take a little here, a little scriptures here, and mix it up with a lot of lies. Or they will take a lot of lies and then introduce truth, the scriptures there, and use that to manipulate the people. And the people will say, yes, is it not the scriptures? No, they are using lies and bringing in scriptures and then mix everything so that you will not notice that this is a lie. That is how the devil works. And that's why the devil will always say, for it is written, because the devil knows that if he keeps on telling that because he's a father of lies, it will be too plain. And that nobody will believe him. Nobody will believe. And so the agents also, they use the practice of the devil. So what the devil will do is pick scriptures, mix it up with lies, and then throw it onto the people. That's what these priests are doing today. That's why these corrupt teachers, these corrupt preachers, these corrupt evangelists, these corrupt pastors, these corrupt GOs, these corrupt general superintendents, these corrupt reverend fathers, these corrupt bishops, these corrupt whether you call them popes, that's what they are doing all over the world. And people are falling prey. And people are saying, no, and they are telling you, if you don't, will a man rob God? That means they are manipulating that. That means they are telling you, if you don't pay, that means you're a thief. And if you don't pay your sacrifice, your offerings, and whatever, it means that now you are going to hell because you are a thief. But they will not go to the background of that. They will not go to chapter 2. They will not start from chapter 2 and tell you who this sin is addressed before the messenger of the Lord will come to clean up everything. and make sure that the temple is restored. Make sure that the temple worship, make sure that the ordinances of the temple are restored in their order, because the priests have bastardized that, because the pastors have bastardized that, because they have cornered a lot of people by using the scriptures. And this is what is going on today. And that is what we see today. And so they have been tampering with the sacrifices, thereby affecting the Lord's people. And by robbing, they were also robbing the people, or by hindering their blessings from God. Stealing from tithes and offering. They were stealing from tithes, but they will say the people are the ones stealing the tithes and offering. But they are the ones stealing the tithes and offering of the in the Old Testament. Remember, now you say, oh, but tithes and offering have been mentioned here, so it means that we are going to give tithes and offering as Old New Testament believers. It's talking about the people of old. Number one, it's talking about the Old Testament believers, number one. And it's not talking about all the nations. It's talking specifically about the people of Israel. That's why he said, all nations shall call you blessed, because I'm going to rebuke the devourer for your sake. I'm going to open the windows of heaven so that blessings will pour. There will not be any place to contain it. If the priests will change their ways, if the priests will change their manipulations, if the priests will change their corruptions, what I'm going to do, I will use them. I will use what they have done, that will trickle down to the people, and the nation of Israel will be a delightsome nation, will be a rich nation, that all nations, now verse 12, and all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, say the Lord. You shall be a delightsome land, say the Lord. And so you have to understand what it means by rob, who are the ones robbing the people, the corrupt priests, the corrupt pastors. And they have been using this portion of the scriptures to, just like their father the devil, and just like the devil transferred this particular method to priests in the days of Eli and to Levites, and they have been manipulating this all through, even to the last part of the New Testament, and they wanted to carry that into the New Testament, that the Lord rebuked them. The Lord said, well, you pay tithes, you pay tithes. You want to emphasize on paying tithe and offering, on cunning, on little things and whatever, but you neglect the weightier matters of the law. And some people also will carry that. It's an extension of what was happening in Malachi, going to the first in New Testament, and the Lord wanted to correct that, because the Lord had come. The messenger that you are looking for, behold, the messenger you are looking for will come to the temple. Why? What is he coming to the temple to do? To correct. When the Lord has come to the scene, the Lord now corrected. I say, you Pharisees, you Sadducees, what you are obeying the Old Testament, you are not following it through. I have come to correct that, and the Lord has come to correct that. So if you like, continue in your foolishness, continue in your gullibility, continue in your deception, and let them continue to deceive you. And the Lord will deliver as many people as will listen to such a message.